All right. What's up, guys? Today we got Nick and Steve from the Tacoholics Grill. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to hear the story of how you guys got started and where you guys are now. So, 2016, you guys come onto the scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And started with a food truck or a couple of food trucks. So, just take me back a little bit. How do we get started here?
Okay, I'm gonna actually, number one, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. So I'm gonna go back to 2015.
Okay.
So I'll tell you where the story really started.
Okay.
So me, Rob, and Lou. So they're not here today, Rob or Lou. But so just a quick briefing. We have 5 owners here.
Okay.
So it started. The founding fathers, we call ourselves. It was me, Rob, and Lou. So all 3 of us started, and me and Lou just graduated college.
Okay.
So we were going to Florida right after, and then Rob came on the trip as well. And when we went into Florida, we stayed in Fort Lauderdale for a week. But every time we were in Florida, like everything we had was just tacos. It was every meal, tacos. That was it. And we were a little business savvy, and I remember me and Rob wanted to. We were kind of talking about doing a food truck, and Lou was there as well. And we we're just kind of talking about it, and then we're like, why don't we do a taco truck? So fast forward to it was like February of 2016. I remember we're like, you know what, let's do a food truck, So couldn't get any funding for it. There was nothing for it. We didn't even have a name yet. Eventually we were able to strike a deal with a guy where he gave us a truck and he would take payments on it. So we would pay him a couple $1,000s a month till it was paid off. And everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? Like tacos, all the tacos in the community, they're like, don't do a taco truck. This one guy told us specifically to do like burgers and hot dogs. So thank God we didn't do that because we wouldn't be where we're at today. And we stuck with it. We didn't have a name. Food truck, we still have the same food truck today. Same truck. And we got a $10,000 credit card, no funding, no banking, no nothing. So initially, all 3 of us, we put our heads together. We got it open. And our first event was actually in Point Pleasant. It was at the Summerfest event.
Okay.
And we got the truck back 3 days before. We didn't know. We had no experience, no food experience. We were 23. We were young. No business experience. We literally had no experience. Truck was broken morning of the event. Nothing worked. So we got all these. We ruined our generator. Our gas lines were bursted, and our water didn't work. So we shouldn't have went to the event. Called the promoter. We went and we handled the event. And that was the first time I met Steve. So this is where this ties into the story. He comes up. And they had to get us, I think we didn't have spatulas, we didn't have ticket books, we didn't have nothing. And Steve came up, and I remember we paid him off in a couple of free Gatorades. It was like he got ripped off in the deal, but he went, I think, got us a spatula, some food and stuff. Oil. He got us some oil. We didn't have oil, we had nothing. But yeah, then we, food truck went, and then about 3 weeks in, we started to dial it in. We fixed up the truck. We had a cool name prior to it, Tacoholics. It just rolls off the tongue. I wanted to go more of a stupid name, but luckily Rob and Lou dialed me back on it, and they were like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. So after the first year of being in operation, I wanted a store, and I wanted a store because to have a food truck, this is for anybody, if anybody's ever thinking of having a food truck, if you want to do festivals, you need a commissary kitchen. You can't do a commissary kitchen at home. You have to do it you have to have a legitimately commercialized commissary kitchen, and we didn't have that at the time. So I was like, I really want to get a store so we could run them both out of there. So we moved on from there, and we decided, let's do a store. And I used to tell everybody at the end of the season, we'll open a store in a month. Knowing nothing about build outs, nothing. Then we opened our brick location. So that was when Steve and another guy, the 4th and 5th owner, Ryan, came on board. Took us almost a year. We were terrible. We didn't know how to do anything when it came to construction, building out, or anything like that. So if you ever want to know how to not do something correctly, you want to just incorrectly do something, just ask us. We'll tell you exactly how to do it wrong, because we've done everything wrong. But we figured it out. Our brick store opened, and luckily we all went to Brick Memorial, so the Brick Memorial community really came around us. They, to this day, teachers, people we went to school with, students, a lot of our workers who have been with us since the beginning, they're all from Brick Memorial. So a lot of people from that area really help us out. And then we decided after that, so I was still working at this time. So 3 months in, I quit my job. I was working both. I was doing the food truck, the store, and then we were doing that, and I left. And I told my boss on my way out, I said, I'm gonna open a second store. So we did. We opened Manasquan in It was 2018. And then from Manasquan, that was when we went to Red Bank. And Red Bank, everything went wrong in Red Bank. Almost took us out, but we stayed in the pocket tough, and that's where my man Steve here came in play.
That's your furthest store up north, right? So you kind of have all these stores within a few miles of each other, and then you're taking a shot, 10, 15 miles north. So I could see how, that would be a little bit different.
Yeah, that was exactly. And also Red Bank, when you go in there, it's tough. The building code, they're strict, a little more strict, and they, but I like it because we learned a lot with that. But it was, tougher. We went from exit 91 on the Parkway to exit 109.
And at that point, you're starting to branch off from pretty much the people that, as you mentioned, that already. So it's easy when you have a bunch of clientele that you guys are used to, seeing pretty much as a lot of your, as your customers, and then you're trying to appeal to new people at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really glad with that store that we did that, because it showed us like you can't branch out too far. Mm-hmm. Like you can't go from like New Jersey and then go open a second store in, let's say, like Pennsylvania. It's just not smart. Mm-hmm. But we were able to. It also taught us though, so we had to learn more. So now we had to get more in the community. We had to do things to keep that store going. But we made another call a couple months after Red Bank. We finally got that open. And so that was when Steve and Ryan, though, we brought them on board as partners. Everybody says, they say too many partners is a problem. Partnerships aren't good, but we have 5 partners and we started at 3. And best decision we ever made, because now we're both sitting here. But so Steve and Ryan, now we have 5 of us, me, Lou and Rob. Now we have Steve and Ryan, and then we opened Point Pleasant. So Point Pleasant, the store, obviously you're from the Point Pleasant community. So the store was, it was a turnkey operation. The place that was there previously they were gone. They decided to leave. And we were like, let's open another one. And then it was like 3 or 4 months after Red Bank opened. And then I think it was 2 or 3 weeks in, we were like, oh, this is great. We were getting off to a great start. And then COVID hit. We were like, oh, awesome. So yeah, we have 4 stores now. COVID went, food truck was down. We didn't know how to react. But we stayed tough, and that's when our people rallied behind us. Some of our better management today, they came on the team and they did that, and they hung in the pocket with us, and they still work with us today, and it paid off for a lot of them because they have very good careers with a growing business, and we appreciate all our guys who stayed with us, and girls, not just guys. And yeah, then during COVID, we decided to open 2 more stores. So we opened Tom's River, and then we opened Lacey, both last year, and right now we're in the works for a new store. I don't want to say until I sign the lease, but there's number 7 is the first time we're saying it, but number 7 is in the works. So
7 stores in total is eventually what we'll be looking at that point.
Yeah, hopefully in the next 6 months we'll have 7 open and operating. 6 normal all year round, and then Manasquan is seasonal in the summers. But
it's amazing that you guys had that confidence with COVID after seeing what that did to businesses, and opening up in a fairly new market for you guys in the Point area, and seeing what that did to have the confidence to say, hey, let's go to an even bigger area like Tom's River right on Hooper Avenue there and try to open up a store. But it's a great location. It's obviously very busy there, and it seems like that that's a great spot to have a new place.
Yeah, we were kind of had our own COVID prior to COVID, because we were growing so quick and burning so much cash per month and not getting these stores open.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, we were kind of used to it, because we were used to losing money. Because we're trying to pay people more, we're trying to grow,
right,
very quickly, and then to do it off on credit cards, on high interest debt, it's extremely difficult. And then to pair it in with not having, the top of the line contractors as well. Also us not doing stuff, totally the correct way. So it was good to honestly have a COVID before COVID, because then we're we're kind of used to this.
Right.
Everyone was freaking out.
But it wasn't cool to have COVID because the coronavirus is not good. We should justify that just so he did. We didn't mean it like that, but he meant, yes, it was a.
Yeah.
So to be clear, you guys are at the head of all these stores, right? They're not individually franchise or anything.
No, we corporate, we own everything. And everybody thinks I think one of the biggest situations if people do think we're a franchise and stuff, and I appreciate that because that means, hey, we have a brand where it can kind of get affiliated with that. But no, we grew everything from within, and one of the biggest reasons for growth as well, it wasn't just about us. The biggest reason for growth was to give our people more opportunity, because at one or two stores you can't retain people who are great. Like, listen, like if you stay at one store and you run a great store, and there's a lot of great places in the community that I see do that great. Like right now, like obviously in the Point area, I'll give obviously Divvy Tree a shout out. Like I think Divvy Tree is awesome. I know Malin is a year older than me, so
Yeah, they're one of my sponsors, so I've been working with them for a few years now. Awesome business, great, husband and wife partnership that they got going there. So awesome. Yeah, again, and we'll talk about that. That kind of like once you establish yourself in a small town like that, again, you really get to know the people that are coming into your stores. And I guess that's something that we can kind of dive into is like that, that passion for being in a town and like having that connection with, each individual town. See, that's something that's important to you guys. I know, like, I've seen through social media, you're very adamant about, like, hey, this is the town we're going into. Like, we want to work with, that community, and we're hoping that you guys come in and you try our food.
Absolutely. Well, that's I know the community's everything, so I know that's one thing we're really working out right now. We always feel like our mentality is we could always do things better. Like you'll never like catch like seriously on the best day of the year. Let's say we do the best things, everything right, and things like that. We're always trying to improve, and that's one thing I really honestly would like to get out there: food quality, customer service, things like that. If it wasn't the best experience, we're working on that experience. We're always working on it. So because we're trying to get back to the community. Obviously, being in the community means everything. Your store's not going to work. No business is going to work unless you're connected to the community. So that's absolutely.
Yeah, you have to give back. You have to be involved in the sports and even in the academics and stuff. If you're not, like, one, it's just not going to work to begin with. But yeah, it's honestly the most important part.
So let's talk about the food. You mentioned, the quality of food. Tacos in the name, and that's what you guys are very passionate about. You don't see, a lot of, taco places in general, and you guys said you decided to give it a shot. What is it about tacos that really appealed to, starting things off with that particular food?
Honestly, it's more of a lighter thing. It's the tacos, the quesadillas. Well, so our food truck didn't have any. It was just tacos. So we were just like quick service item that we love. Tacos, and the thing I like about it and our food as well is you could have so many mixtures of things. Like one day I could crave a taco. So our tacos, obviously you know this, we're not your traditional Mexican food. So anybody who ever compares us like it's not Mexican food, we never said we were Mexican food. We do tacos. So our food, we incorporated things that we really like. So one of the biggest things is like our coconut shrimp. I love coconut shrimp, right? So like coconut shrimp on a taco.
The honey chipotle sauce. I think that's what I had on my tacos the other day. That's amazing. That was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
favorite sauce.
Yeah, so right now we have a lot of our homemade sauces, and we're working on getting them bottled up and stuff so they can be shipped out to other locations as we branch out.
That's really cool
for
because
the
obviously,
future.
like with tacos, you can only go like you get your basic proteins, but really it's like what you add to that can make or break your brand. So the sauces are big for you guys.
Yeah, that's what we started with because one of the best things was obviously when we're on a food truck, it's tough. Like you have this little confined space, you have all these big bodies in there, and we're all just like trying to move around. And like when it comes down to the like sauces, like we have 7 sauces right now, and I can make 7 different tacos with the same protein with the same sauce.
Yeah.
And then we paired it correctly. Like if you come in, some people are still confused by this, but if you come in a recommended way, we call it truck style, based off of our food truck. But honey chipotle, you ask me right now, like what do you recommend? I'd say honey chipotle. You're getting 2 tacos. Number 1, I'd say crispy chicken. Trying to get a little healthier grill, but I go crispy and just pico de gallo, lettuce, cheese, ranch. And then you ask for General Tso's. That's another different thing. General Tso chicken tacos. I just say lettuce, pico, lettuce, cheese, and that's sour cream. You ask what the bang is. It's just pico, lettuce, cheese, no sour cream or ranch because the bang sauce, it's that good. You don't need that on top. So we like to pair things correctly. That's why we initially did that. And then, we obviously added tofu over the years, peppers, onions, corn salsa, stuff like that. One of our guys who does our sauces and stuff, he has his own little specialized hot sauce he made up. So if you're ever in like any of our locations, there should be a bottle off to the side. It's Joe's hot sauce.
Awesome. I will
Banging.
give it a try. Yeah, it's cool. You know, I think one of the things that I was very impressed with was like the service and the availability of like being able to use the kiosk, which I think is cool. You know, if you guys want to talk about like those, like you walk in and you just like see these kiosks and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And then you get kind of caught up in it, but like it's kind of fun. You know, you get to like really choose what you want. It's not just like you're sitting there like trying to eat. Like I know personal experience, like trying to like in places like that, you're trying to like tell people what you want. It's kind of loud in there, but having everything in front of you is a nice sort of addition. Is that new that you guys just implemented, or is that?
It's somewhat new. We try to, and it's not like we don't want people, just like force people to go there. It's just another alternative.
Uh-huh.
So like you can still go to the register, or you can, if you like to go to the kiosk, go to the kiosk.
Yeah.
If you like to order on the app, go to the app. If you like to order on the website, go to the website. If you like to order through DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub, you can go there. If you want to call on the phone, you could order through there. So it's just another alternative. We don't want to push anyone where they don't want to go, but because everyone has their own,
That's a big misconception. Some people think we implemented the kiosks to like almost like cut staff or anything like that. We never cut staff with that. The kiosk was it's actually we had to design the own programming with a place. Like we didn't take like some sort of like box program and put it into our store. We actually been working hand in hand with a company to design that. You see the order here in Tacoholics. You see all the pictures of the ingredients.
Right.
That was us behind the scenes. That was like Steve and then the cameraman just like working at it, and it's not perfect, but it keeps getting better. Like that's why I say everything about our business is all about improvements. But one of the biggest things is people think some people just think like the kiosk, like no, we want to talk to you at the counter. There should be a person out there talking to you, but it's just giving another option for the person in a rush. And I got that, and ever since we started, I always like going into Panera Bread, because Panera Bread, sometimes if I'm in a rush, you roll in. It's the same thing as that. You can roll in, order. You don't have to talk to anybody if you want. You get your food, you're out. And that's what quick service is all about sometimes. If you want to ask questions, talk, there'll be somebody at the counter who will explain our entire menu to you. If you meet the other owner, Jay, in here, he will have a 45-minute conversation with any customer about anything, because like he will just like, so if you ever see, well, his name's Ryan, sorry, we call him Jay, but if you ever see Ryan in any of our locations and you want to have a nice conversation and you catch him, like, he will sit down with you and he will talk about everything. He'll ask you, I don't know. He's just like, that's how we try to be. We like to communicate, we like to have good conversations, and we care about the community. We care about every single person who eats our food.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so with the ordering, it's just different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, I mean it's great to to see what has become for you guys over the years. I love hearing the story. It's almost I think what you were saying, and I guess do you guys see this as like an opportunity for people to come in and enjoy being dining in? Like, what is the experience? Because I feel like with so many of these places, it's like, come get your food. Like you said, there's so many ways you can get your food. It's not limited to one. But like the experience of making Tacoholics a place for people, especially like the younger audiences, like the high school age. It's in town, quick place that they can ride their bike to or walk to. Do you see that being like a point of emphasis for you guys, a place where people can come in and be like, hey, we want to go eat there, and make it a place where they can like hang out, so to speak,
Yeah, we like that. Like that's like, if obviously Point Borough, a lot of the high school kids, we appreciate you guys if anybody's watching this, but a lot of them, they come, they ride their bikes, they all come in. Yeah, they're loud, they have a good time, and that's cool if they're able to get out for lunch. That's what we like. The experience is what it's all about. That's why sometimes you'll go into one of our stores, you'll hear like 80s Joel, and then another store you'll hear like an EDM scene, and then one store you'll hear country. We like to let people just like kind of create the vibe that they want to create, but we try to keep it similar. But everybody, like if you go up to Red Bank, a lot of Red Bank is there's a lot of offices up there, but like office people like to hang out. Like if someone's in there for 2 hours, that's awesome. It's all about the experience, and that's one thing right now we are working hand in hand on. We're trying to make the experience better, trying to make the food better.
I love the fact that like the they bring people bring the food to you, which is like awesome. You feel like you're in like an actual restaurant setting. It's not just like, oh, your food's ready, come and get it. And I was personally being asked a few times, like, how's the food, how's the experience? It's not just like, here's your food and that's the sale. That everyone in the couple locations that I've been to was very nice about making sure that like the experience from eating, like getting the food, eating it, to being satisfied with it was like a full opportunity. It wasn't just like get your food and then that's the end of it, or the next order. So that was awesome, I thought.
Yeah, and that's literally that's a shout out to our staff because
Mhm.
I appreciate you saying that
Yeah.
because our staff, what they do is, they're always trying to improve
Uh-huh.
because but like with that, that's great. Like the experience is everything. And I know there are some restaurants and like a lot of the restaurants, so some of them are understaffed.
Mhm.
And to hear you say that, even when, maybe we're understaffed in some sort of it, like you saying that, it really means a lot because like a lot of these restaurants, like,
Yeah.
maybe cut them some slack in today's world. Like there are a lot of like increasing costs and things like that.
For sure,
But
yeah.
one of the biggest things is staff. A lot of people, the food industry, it's tough to hire in the certain climate in today's. But like for our people to still go out, that's what we focus on. And if we have to pay people more, or if we have to incorporate more, or we have to have get our management in there more, like that's what we do because the experience is everything. And I think that's one of the things in the past that we've maybe been a little less with, but we keep getting better. So that's great that you say that because in a year, I want somebody to say they have the best service ever because that's what it's all about. Cleanliness, the food, and the experience. I mean, what else do you need? That's all that I care about. Well, I care about a lot more, but those are the top three.
For sure. Where do you guys see as far as like, so you're going on 7 stores now. I feel like the overall like competition, especially like in this area, has gotten like drastically higher, and I feel like that's something that like really just trying to like, again, like just mark your brand as something that's like so important to that this industry. Where do you guys see yourselves getting to? Like what's the next, just say couple of steps that you want to get to, or ultimately how do you envision your growth over the next like 5 years, let's say?
Well, we don't want to tell you our whole game plan
Uh-huh.
because then that would give our competition
Right, yeah.
the idea of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're just going to continue to get better, continue to open up more corporate stores, and kind of go from there. But yeah, I don't want to give you our roadmap.
We want to run our own race at our own pace, and we want to do what's best for our people and what's best for us. And I don't want to say here like I want to franchise and blow up 6,000 stores. Like yeah, like
Yeah,
literally like that would be amazing. But
Uh-huh.
like again, like if we went up, that's why he said like COVID like slowed us down for a good reason because we were able to go back and we were able to fix a lot of problems. So right now, that's really what our focus is on. We're going to keep growing stores. And I said, we're growing stores to create more opportunity for us, for other people to work for us. We like creating jobs. We like creating like opportunities. There's nothing better than when somebody started with us when they're 16 and then they're 20, or even when they're 21, and you could almost like buy them a drink and say, "Hey man, what's
Yeah,
going
that's
on?"
cool, man.
Yeah, so that's we have a lot of people like that started with us in high school, and now they're like general managers, and like that's what we like. And then eventually, let's say I don't want to take the roadmap and put it like that, but I do another shout out. So I'm just full of shout outs today, but like one of them is Jersey Mike's. Like I really like what they do where they build up their people. I always say Jersey Mike's is my favorite brand because they build their people up to like a lot of their franchisees. They were just in the stores and they're running their stores. What better than the people who work in your stores? So we have a lot of work to do until we get into that, but opening up corporate stores, like we have a lot of really hungry, good individuals who are just amazing. People who we've seen who were not necessarily amazing a couple years back. They've taken the constructive criticism, as have we. They've gotten better. They've made mistakes, and yeah, like there's going to be nothing better than when you see one of your managers who started with you as a kid buying a house, and that's coming off your payroll. Nothing is better than that. There's nothing better than when you see them on vacation or not struggling about money or something. Like it really is like that wasn't always necessarily the like I think priority number one, but as we grow and these people grow with us, you look at them and you go, we got to create something for you guys, and that's what we're always striving for. We talk about the experience with the customers. That's directly from our staff who's growing with us, and the food comes out. If they love your product just as much as you do, they're just going to push it out. But you can't. I said we couldn't do it personally without growing. So that's why we're always willing to put the foot on the gas because we stick to our word. We like growth. We don't like growth too fast. If we were at 15 stores right now, we would be a train wreck.
No, it'd be, yeah,
It'd be a disaster.
Really
But and now, if we move to 10 stores, we'd be able to do it because we have the necessary team and we've been working on it a lot. So we're excited about the future.
That's awesome. Of course, me being a sports guy, a lot of athletes that I see, and I guess I want to jump into the athletes that you guys have as Tacoholics athletes. Just in general, for a lot of these kids now, being able to benefit off their names and the whole NIL deals that are going around and everything, like I think that's personally really cool, and you guys have jumped into that market quite a bit, it seems, especially in the Point Borough, and that's where I sort of like saw you guys again. I was like, oh, like I saw the name again. I was like, oh, okay. And then like, Tacoholics athletes, like that's pretty cool. Even one of my buddies was joking. He's like, oh, he's a taco athlete. I was like, I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool though. Like, how did you guys get involved with this? Is this something that you wanted to do? I mean, seems like you guys are both sports people. Then, if you started sponsoring athletes, I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's just it was just another marketing idea that we kind of saw, and
A new opportunity.
yeah, we thought it would be good because once again now I guess with the newer laws they're allowed to make money and stuff
Yeah.
off their name, which I think is great. And yeah, pretty much to incentivize those athletes to kind of be a part of the brand, be a part of the community, and kind of help each other out. So I think it works for both parties, and yeah, it's going pretty well. We got a few point wrestlers.
Yeah, I saw that
Uh,
3-1, did 3 posts in one day. I saw. I said, "Wow, Talkaholics is busy." You guys got Joey D'Angelo, Jack Thompson, Frankie Bergio. So you guys got wrestling as was a big one. I saw that. I was like, "This is great."
Yeah, a couple good dudes that went to states and stuff. So
Yeah.
they're super cool kids. And then
Younger too, so
Yeah.
another 3 years, man. Like I know two like Frankie and Joe. We know
Mhm.
they're freshmen, so that's awesome. But even Jack, like
Yeah.
we were actually watching in the office. We're watching Jack battle back. You know,
Yeah, he'll be back next year.
Good.
He was a win away from a medal this year, so that's awesome stuff.
yeah, we were rooting for him. Like I said, watching the live feeds and stuff. And then our newest one was Cole Skinner, which we're actually yet to meet personally, but.
we hear good things.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we saw the
Great guy, talented athlete. I mean, just like you guys, you so far you've picked great athletes, and I think that's sort of the whole objective of it, right? Like you want to pick good kids that represent the community well, and
Yeah.
not just anyone. So I
Yeah.
guess that's like asking you guys, like what, like the selection process, like is that where you start? You say like again, you said you knew some of the like being in the community, obviously, like being from Brick Memorial, right down the street. You probably know a lot of these athletes. It's not like you're going into this blind.
Yeah, we started, and I know wrestling because states were right around the corner. We decided to pull the trigger on this, but
Yeah.
as like we got an RBC kid, right? His
Mhm.
name's Ryan. It's Ryan, right?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. And so one of the good things about Ryan is he goes to RBC,
Mhm.
but he's from Brick. So like you get Brick, RBC, and like
And that
it's cool.
ties back to your Red Bank
Yeah,
location.
Red Bank
So
location.
it's cool. You get double
store
the,
over.
double
Yeah.
the advertisement almost, and double the connections there.
Yeah, and he seems like a great kid.
Uh-huh.
Like he's very nice. He comes like highly recommended and stuff like that. But he's also a great athlete. So it is like it's realistically it wins 3 ways. We win because we get the exposure from the kids. We also get to give back, and then the community wins because no matter how many starts we get, you're always getting that exposure towards the sports programs, towards the
Mhm.
community, and then the kid wins because how cool is that? I mean, let's go back to if all of us were in high school. Like, I mean, if you walk into Brick Memorial and you look on the wall, you'll see a name there. You'll see Steve Bruno on there for hockey. And when you do that, like, do you think there were NIL deals back then? No.
This was just I mean even college, guys that were bringing in money for their universities, and they were just basically playing for the school. But again, it went from that to branching down to the local communities and the local athletes. So definitely an awesome thing for these kids, and a great opportunity for companies like you guys to really attach your name onto there. But it also, I feel like, speaks to the food, because people start to say, hey, like we really like this food, and we feel like this is really good as you were saying, like quality ingredients.
Yeah, quality. That's what it's all about.
That's the thing.
Quality and just, yeah, I can't say it enough about the community. If the community doesn't get behind you, you're not going to succeed.
Mhm.
That's why I think, especially in today's climate with social media, like people are a lot more under a microscope than they used to be. A lot of, like, if you don't have a good experience, unfortunately, and we've had this before where people haven't had a good experience. And, we've worked on it and we said, dang, like, I don't want them not to have a good experience. And like, that crushes my soul. Every bad thing is said, but there's 2 ways to handle it. One, you could blame the person who had a bad experience, which we don't do. And then there's the second one where you could go back and say, how do we make it better? And the good people come in and they do it as well. How do we make it better for them? And that's what we're always focused on. But like, giving back to the community is the best, whether they accept us or not, I don't care. I like to give back because everybody knows it feels, well, for us, it feels better to give than to take. But if you're coming into our store, like Lacey athlete, you know, we I don't think we know Lacey yet, but we have a kid who worked for us. He was a really good soccer player. He's gonna play D1, and
Awesome.
yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna, you know,
Yeah, so it worked out. He was even working for us, and then we came up with the idea to like, all right, you know, why don't we sponsor, you know, his name's Cody, and
great kid.
you know, looking at his stats, and this kid was crushing it, like in
Yeah.
soccer. So, and yeah, and he's a great worker as well, and yeah, great personality, great dude, and yeah, he's
The
going
shore
to
is loaded.
college, yeah.
I mean, you can find so many great athletes on the field and off the field that, you know, that you can sponsor, and I think that's a great thing because there's like such a personal connection there. It's not like, you know, you have guys that are like in a whole nother state. These are homegrown athletes that, you know, represent the area, and they're, you know, they're gonna hopefully bring, you know, get people to come and try the food locally too. So it's a great way to, you know, to continue to put your name out there.
Oh, it is. Even so, we have a couple people on our staff who, so like, we want to reach out to a lot more of these schools and get more for the schools like in the community, like Brick and then Brick Memorial.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like how far do you guys want to go with it? Like how many athletes, like all different sports and
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
starting to vet it a little more. We start to have a little bit more of a process. That's why our marketing department, they're working on it a lot more and they're figuring it out. And because this is new to us, so we're always trying to progress with it. But some of our guys that we're kind of focused on, we got a couple people on our radar who are reaching out. But it's not just like, yeah, stats mean everything. But as we said, the kid Cody who worked for us, he's just a great kid, man. He's just like a good guy.
of course.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got an awesome work ethic. And there's a couple other athletes who work for us have awesome work ethics. One of our guys, the manager over in Point Pleasant, man. Here. He's been with us since he was 17, or might have been 16. But Brick Memorial, he was the starting running back his senior. Unfortunately, he got injured his senior, but he was, man, if you Google his name, you'll just see him running in the Asbury Park press for a touchdown. I'll never forget that because he was working for us, and I was just like, go job, man. But we have a lot of good kids who, they stick with us. Some of them go on, but like, we keep in contact. They're home from college, they're doing other things, you know. We always have a good relationship. So it's more so the people too, because honestly, it makes them feel good, makes us feel good for them to be happy. But we like to get behind not just like great athletes, but also good people. Because I mean, I don't want a negative person in my life. I don't think you do either, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I had a fun time talking with you guys. It was nice to hear how you guys got started and everything like that. And you know, I just wish you guys a lot of success. Continue to build your name, and you know, you guys are both two energetic guys, and you said you got a couple more as part of your staff and whole teams beyond that, and that's really awesome to hear. So thank you for your time, and nice coming down, and great to talk with both of you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And just one more shout out, right, to everybody who eats for it. Everybody who eats our food, we appreciate you. And to our staff, keep crushing it, staff. We got some good feedback from a man interviewing right now, and that's good for us because we're working at it. And I'll tell you what, keep trying us because we're gonna keep getting better. We're not gonna stop because we just care. It's all about the experience. I've said it 1,000 times in this interview, but it's all about the experience, right, Steve?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Appreciate you.